What up, ladies and gentlemen? Indeed, feed the need.
Rock-T.
Okay.
Oh, my God.
I had to get it out because this is going to be a very serious topic this week. We're going to be discussing, first of all, my name is Rock-T, and this is my wonderful better half.
Krystal.
Indeed. And we are the Perfect Pair Podcast, so welcome back to another episode of our Perfect Pair Podcast.
Yep.
We're not perfect.
But we're perfect for each other.
Pimpin'. This week, we're going to be talking about the D word. Get your mind out the gutter. We're talking about depression.
Some people might have thought you were talking about divorce.
That too.
Right. So no, we're not talking about neither one of those.
Yes.
Whatever
So
he's talking about.
we've talked about depression on this podcast several times.
Yes.
And everyone knows your story. Everyone knows, how I feel about certain things. But this episode is we're going to go really deep a little bit because do I think we'll get into it because y'all are gonna either love me more after this episode or hate me. Hence the shirt. I hate the homies, which is another podcast that I'm on, but it's gonna be another situation.
It's good too.
So we're gonna talk at the D word, and hopefully you get something out of it. There's a lot of people that's suffering from depression every single day, and it's getting to the point where it's really, really bad.
Right, because I feel like everybody is depressed now. And sometimes I feel like it is by choice now. And I never was the person to say, I'm like, who wants to be depressed?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Right.
So are we getting into it now? So
Let's go. So before we get going, make sure you download, subscribe, all the good stuff that you guys know what you need to do, man. Hit the bell so you can get the alerts every time we drop a new episode. Go follow the YouTube channel, all social media platforms, The Perfect Pair Podcast, okay? Let's get it popping.
Okay. So what really made me think about this even more, and I actually been doing this because when I was going through therapy, because I felt depressed, a lot of things was going wrong. I had anxiety, a lot of things, it was just a lot going on. And I never realized until now, I would say, like literally now, recently, that depression can be literally a choice that you put yourself in.
Come on now.
And what made me think about it even more is because 50 Cent had made was it a post or a tweet or something where he says he doesn't believe in depression and depression is by choice. People choose to be depressed.
Mm-hmm.
And so, a lot of people gave him backlash about that because listen, y'all people are the ones that saying like, I don't choose to be depressed. I understand. The only reason why I'm speaking on this is because I understand what you mean when you say I don't wake up and just want to be depressed. I don't want to just be here and be sad and do all this other stuff. I get that. But when I tell you, coming from somebody that has been there, done that, and understand that I made the choice, when I tell you it really is a choice that you have to make to say, I'm no longer going to be in this mindset anymore. It really is a choice. And you do it every day. Not to say everything's going to be all bells and whistles and everything's just going to be happy, this and that. But there's just things you can do to get yourself out of that.
Okay,
you know what I mean?
so I'm proud of you. I might have just fell in love with you all over again for you to say that.
Thanks, honey.
Because you already know I've always believed that.
Right.
I've always thought that.
And I used to get so mad at you. I'm like, I don't want this black cloud around me, dark cloud. Like, I don't want to be sad.
All right, so let me give you my thoughts, my opinion real fast. I try not to ramble too much, but I got to get it out. And we can agree to disagree about it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, is there such thing as depression? Of course it is. Can a person get depressed? Of course they can. If they choose to stay and remain in that state of mind, your bad.
Right.
Your fault. There are things that's going to cause us as humans to get sad, mad, angry, depressed, frustrated. There are things that happen in our lives that puts us in a negative state of mind. But you have the choice. We all do to decide, do I want to stay here or do I want to climb my way out?
Right.
And if you choose to stay there and then you start blaming things, the system, other people, this is why, that's on you. That's your fault. You choose to stay there. So I don't believe depression should be, what word am I looking for? Like, it's clinical or
Okay, so
I don't want to say disease or a condition. Maybe it's a condition.
Yeah.
Maybe condition is a better word.
Right.
And even doctors, I'm just gonna say it, man. You know, doctors are saying, "Hey, this is real. This is a real thing. This is a real condition, and you need this. You need this medication. You need this. Need that." Man, in my opinion, and the only medication you need is a stronger mindset to say, "I choose not to be sad right now. I choose not to be depressed right now. I choose to be. I can do better things or happier things. I can change the way I think." We say it all the time. I think my day.
Right.
I think my life. So whatever I think, that's how my life is going to be.
Right.
I speak my day. I speak my life. So whatever I say, that's how my life is going to be. So if you put negative in, you're going to get negative out. If you put positive in, you're going to get positive out. So go ahead.
Okay, so I'm glad that you said that about what is depression.
Mm-hmm.
There's a doctor that I've been watching a lot on Instagram.
Okay.
And I don't know how to pronounce his name. I think it's, how you say it, babe? You can read it. Dr. Gabar.
I don't even know, but we're going to play this video for you guys.
Well, okay, before I play it, I'm about to get ready to play it. So, But before I play it, I wanted to say he's saying that depression comes from early childhood.
Well, let him say it.
Right.
Let's go
and
ahead
I
and
just
play
want
it.
y'all to understand where it begins. Hold on, let me make sure.
Take something like depression. What does it mean to depress something? It means to push it down. Yeah. So what gets pushed down in a so-called disease of depression? What gets pushed down? People's emotions. Nobody's born pushing down their emotions. They push down their emotions if the environment, their families can't accept their emotion. And the child gets a message that if I feel my emotions, like my anger or my grief, they won't like me. So then unconsciously, the child pushes down their emotions. And 30 years later, they're diagnosed with this disease, so-called disease of depression. It all begins with early childhood and how we are forced, in a sense, to disconnect from ourselves in order to survive in our environment.
Okay.
Come on now. Bam. He nailed it right there. That's the best way.
I'm about to say, he explained it so well. After me going to therapy, that's another thing. If you're feeling depressed right now, you got all these emotions going on, therapy is your first step. Like, seriously. Most therapists, they're not going to they're not able to prescribe you medicine anyway. And that's the reason why you can go to them for depression and stuff. And you can talk and get counseling and stuff, because you got to go to a psychiatrist to actually get medication, if you didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
Just FYI. Yes, I know, because I done seen all of them. And I'm not proud, but I am.
Be proud. Be proud, because it made you a better person than who you are right now.
That's what I'm saying. But I was like, I've seen all of them, so I get it. I understand what it is.
You're a living testimony, because you suffered through depression.
Right, that's what I'm saying. I'm not proud, but I'm
You
proud.
went and got therapy, which we always tell people therapy is a good thing.
Right.
Swallow your pride. It's okay to go get help. And you made a decision after your therapy session to say, "Oh, I don't have to stay like this.
Right.
I
And
can't be."
that's what I'm saying. It starts
What?
But again, it starts with therapy, and you start talking and you start to understand. They start to give you different things to do to get yourself. They start to help you figure out what are your triggers. What's triggering you to feel this way. And when I tell you guys, it always boils down to what happened to you as a child. Almost every young girl that I've helped, every adult that I've helped, woman that I've helped, it all stemmed from something that happened to them in their childhood. Most of us that get really depressed, get down, and we feel like we can't get out of this funk. A lot of this stems from our childhood or what has happened to us in earlier years. And if y'all know me, what happened to me, I was molested when I was young. Didn't talk about it because that's just how I was brought up. Like, you sweep shit under the rug, don't really talk about it, don't get no help. And it was by family members twice. So that's the messed up thing about it. So I learned to press down my emotions, my feelings, how I felt, what I did with a lot of things. It also brought out another side of me of like coldness. Because now I'm hard. Now I'm going to protect myself. I don't care. I don't trust men to a point. Not even my husband. Like, I'm telling you, year 7, it was almost over for us because I couldn't believe that he really was this good to me. Like, there's no way. Because I grew up, I might as well just say I grew up, I had family members that were actually pimps. Like, I'm not trying to be funny. Like,
For real.
bona fide pimps with the jerry curl, the
You have to
colorful
describe
suit. Right, colorful suit. And they had hoes. And that's real. Like, you know, my grandmother knew my grandfather was out there doing stuff with other women. She didn't care as long as he brought home the money. So it was like, I grew up in this kind of environment that this was okay. I also grew up with them saying, I can't cry. Like, they used to tell me, my uncles, you better not have punk in your heart. Meaning, I don't need to take no shit from nobody. I better fight for everything. I better not cry. If I'm crying, that means I'm a punk. I'm a crybaby. I'm weak. It made me feel like I was weak if I did this. So my main thing was I'm going to fight. I don't care if you look at me wrong. I don't care if you were just looking at me to figure out what I had on. I'm going to fight you because I feel like you disrespected me. Instead of really realizing that, Jay-Z said it best. He was like, when he was walking down the street, he didn't understand why he would want to fight people just because they looked at him. He was like, but realizing that when people looked at him, they were seeing the real him, so he wanted to fight them before they saw him for who he was.
Yeah, that's deep.
And so when you think about that now that I'm mature, and he said that, I said, that makes perfect sense. You don't want nobody to see the weakness in you, so you rather just fight. I'm going to fight you before you see any weakness. I'm going to shut you down. I'm going to cut you off. I'm going to get cold. Rocky's seen this on me, seen this side of me where I get cold. I will cut you off. I'll be mean. I'm heartless before I allow you to see any weakness in me.
Preach. No, for real, that's
no,
real.
like seriously. So because you're pressing every feeling and emotion that you ever had in you down. You don't want to think about it.
Come on, man.
And then there's certain triggers that happens. Like, even to this day, like, there's a certain smell that will bring back what happened to me in the past. There's a certain color combination that comes together. Like, and anybody that's been through this knows exactly what I'm talking about.
Okay, so let me ask you a question. You know, you depressed it for so long.
Right.
Of course, with therapy and a little bit of help. But how were you able to climb out of that depression? How were you able to say, man, I know right from wrong. I know good from bad. I know how to say yes versus no. I know how I want my life to be. How were you able to?
When I realized that, honestly, is when I realized that the only thing that I had control over was my response. And because I'm not responsible for stuff that I'm not in control of. Right. So even like, you know, I tell kids now, especially the young adults, you're not responsible for anything that happened to you before you were the age of 18. But after the age of 18, you are 100% responsible for everything that happens to you.
It's on you after that.
And so you got some kids that are still before the age of 18. And they're like, how? But you're still in control of how you respond to everything.
Period.
So there's still ways that you can control it and understand how to react to certain situations. You got somebody getting in your face or talking about you, you can easily react to try to fight them back, go back and forth with them and look just as foolish as them, or you can be in control of your response and be like, I'm not going to do that. So I'm going to take a high road.
Which goes back to why this episode is really, really important, because I just don't understand how, and maybe I'm just cut from a different cloth, but you know, we came from nothing. We didn't have a whole bunch.
Right.
And you know, I thank God that I had both parents in the household. So my mom and dad, they're still together, still alive, and love them to death. So I can't share what a person feels like. I can't share that feeling of a person that has only one parent growing up.
Right.
As in a single parent home. But I can say this. God blessed us all. Listen to me now. You don't have to leave. We can agree to disagree.
Right.
God blessed us all with the ability to control our mind, to control our decisions, to control our choices. We all have that. So
right.
I feel for certain people when they're going through certain situations, their conditions, the depression, whatever. But when are you going to do something about it? When are you going to say, you know what? I had enough. I like you said, from baby to 18, this is how I was raised. This is how mom and dad taught me. This is what they should. This is all I know. So if that's all you know, okay, cool. But sooner or later, you're going to be like, the journey of life, like, wait a minute. Okay, this is how I'm living. this is what I was taught, but how come so and so is living like that and they're thinking like that, and you know, it's like, okay, I have a choice. I can change. I can make this better. And I don't want to confuse nobody, but so many people get mad at me sometimes because I am so positive. Like, I'm gonna find the silver lining in everything. I don't care what it is. You know what I'm saying? And so this depression situation is like, you don't have to stay there. Whoever's going through this, you have the choice and the power right here between your ears to say, I want better for my life.
Right. And it's simple stuff as like just getting up out the bed today. And I've actually explained this in some of a video I posted a while back about how it's not the reality of life that's messing with you. It's what you tell yourself about life that is messing with you.
Right.
It's how you're perceiving it, because it's not the life. It's just what you're telling yourself. So if you wake up and be like, today's going to be a good day. I'm going to get up. I'm going to go outside. And if that's all you did was get up and go outside and you came back in and you lay back, that's fine. Applaud yourself. That is an accomplishment. Sometimes it takes baby steps. It's just like when you're a baby, you got to crawl before you walk. You got to walk before you run. And so many, you take your steps of getting to where you need to be, but get there. Like, take a step. You have to take a step. You got to do something to start making yourself feel better. And when I say talking to someone, getting therapy, getting help, is one of the best things you can do, because you'll be surprised how depression is really, once you go through therapy and you really work it the way you should work it, you will understand when we say it's a choice.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
It's a choice. This is not a psychotic disease where it's to a point where you have to take medication to control it. Like if you are bipolar and stuff like that, there's medications for people like that. A depression is really a choice that you make.
It's a mindset, man.
It really no. And
some people love a pity party.
Yes, and you want to stay there.
And like that, they like that pity attention.
Yes,
whatever you want to call it.
You want to keep giving that same. To me, it's almost like most people that are depressed, in my opinion, is because you're so busy trying to put your happiness in someone else's hands. And I speak this a lot to y'all now. I reiterate it to my kids all the time. You cannot put your happiness in someone else's hands, because you're going to get let down every single time. And then if you're in a relationship and you're putting that on someone else to make you happy, and then you're always down and depressed, now you've formed a toxic relationship.
Come on now. So
because that's overwhelming. Think about it. If your job was to make me happy, you know what? You got to figure out a way to make me happy all the time.
That's stressful.
It's overwhelming for you. It's unfair. It's unfair to whoever you're around, your coworkers, your kids, your husband, your friends, because it gets to a point where it's like, I can't do this anymore. If you're in a situation right now where you're unhappy, there's a choice that you can make.
Period.
Today. There's a choice that you can make. You can choose to be like, okay, I'm going to just do this again. I'm going to start tomorrow. Tomorrow's going to always be tomorrow. Tomorrow's going to keep coming again. It's going to be tomorrow. I'm going to do it tomorrow. And all of a sudden, it's going to turn into days to weeks, months, and then years.
You live your whole doggone life miserable.
Saying the same thing, tomorrow I'm going to start. No, start today. If you know today, like, I'm not happy with this, do something different. You know what that different is. So do it.
If you keep doing what you've been doing, you're going to keep getting what you've been getting.
Right,
good or bad.
That's what I'm saying. Like, any situation that you're in. Like, my son didn't want to switch schools. He didn't want to switch schools, but he had to. And he was sad about it. He even shed some tears about it. And I totally get it. And like I told him, I said, you have every right to have the emotions that you're having right now. It's okay to have these emotions. And that's another thing, before I get into that, because the reason why I'm saying it's okay for him, because I want him to understand it's okay for him to have those emotions. Now, once you have them, do you like this feeling? He was like, no, ma'am, I don't. Okay, so now we got to do something about it. We can't stay there.
Let's go, because now it's on you.
Right, because now you had your moment. You had your moment to deal with it. Now let's figure out to make something better. We got to do something now. You got to cry with an agenda is what I say.
Okay, now let's be fair about this. We're human. So you can do everything that we're talking about and get yourself out of the funk that you're in, and then you can slip back into it. That's called being human. Something like you say, something that can trigger it.
I'm about to say, you start to learn when you go to therapy. I promise you this. Listen, you'll start to understand what triggers you. It's different things that make you go there. And I have them still. And when it comes, and I still will have a little attitude a little bit, but I'm constantly talking to myself like, you're not gonna do this. This is not going to come over me. I would do something immediately that makes me happy. Something that's going to bring me some kind of joy. If it's watching TV, going for a walk, going outside. If it's most of the time it's kind of like I'm watching one of my favorite shows or something.
Right.
Like really, it really is. And I'll do that. I'll do something that makes me happy. And I know makes me happy. You have to go and do those. Use those skills to do all of those things. And the reason why I'm saying this too is the way the doctor was talking about when this happens when you're a kid. This happened with us raising the girls when it came with the girls. Because Rocky, like y'all know, he's very, very positive. So if y'all are raising kids right now, I want y'all to just be cautious and be aware of this. He's very positive. He doesn't like to see any of his girls, including me, sad. Like when I say sad, the girls would cry. It's no, happy, 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 ice cream, ice cream, ice cream. He never allowed them for a minute to like just be sad or cry, be upset, and
never
have
gave them their moment.
Their moment. I had to pull them aside and be like, listen, it's okay for them to be sad. It's okay for them to be angry. It's okay for them to cry. Now, they don't need to stay there, but you got to allow them. That's what the doctor was saying. They press everything down because if you're trying to tell them you can't cry, you can't tell your sons like, boys, don't be crying like a little girl. And you start to make them feel like if I cry, I'm a little girl, I'm weak. But if you're telling them to don't cry like a little girl and you explain like, hey, you're crying because you shouldn't be crying about this. That's what I mean. This is something that is not you need to be crying about. But if you don't allow these kids to express their emotions at times and let them know like, hey, I get it. I understand. But now you got to move out of it. But you make them afraid, make them feel bad for expressing their emotions.
Right.
They're going to start hiding it.
Yeah.
And then they're not going to have anybody to talk to. And Harmony even told me that at times she just felt like, she couldn't talk because Dad's so happy and positive and I don't know how to be that. And now I feel like I'm failing him.
At that moment. Yep. Absolutely.
So then for her to be sad at that moment, she feels even worse because she is sad and her dad doesn't like her to be sad. And now she feels like she's failed her dad.
Right. So I had to, she taught me that part. She helped me with that. And when I realized that, I was like, I didn't look at it that way. So now, I make an effort to, when it comes to you, when it comes to our kids, to give them that moment of,
right.
If they're sad, if they're emotional at that time, okay, get it all out. You have every right. Same thing. Okay, now, and I try not to go really fast. I used to be like, okay, you got it out. You done?
Right.
Now let's move.
Right.
So I really give them a moment, like even if it's a day, a few hours or a day or whatever, but I don't go past the day. Because if you go that long and you start going 2 days and 3 days, I'm still in my moment. Now you're going to go into this clinical depression state of mind or whatever. Yeah. And you could have eliminated after 1 day, or in my opinion, a few hours. Mm-hmm. Because I'm like, if you don't know what makes you happy, like what Krystal just said, make a list, simplify it. Break it down like you was a 3-year-old and say, hey, just make a list of everything that makes you happy. And when you get into that moment of sadness, pull out this list and just start one at a time. Whatever you can do that's on that list that you can immediately do.
Stop dreading things.
Yes.
That's another thing. If you know you got to go to work tomorrow and you hate your job, okay, you already know you don't like it. So now you need to start making steps to make it better and get a different job. But you still got to go to this job tomorrow. So guess what you got to do? Listen, I got to go to this job. I'm just going to make the best of it.
That's it.
There's a lot of things you don't want to do, but you just make the best of every situation. Like Rocky always says, embrace the grind. Embrace the journey. When you embrace everything that you're doing, you start to look at life a little bit different. You don't look at it as, oh my God. Like, I hate cleaning the house. I ain't even gonna lie. I hate it. I hate, especially the bathroom. The bathroom is the worst. Like, I hate cleaning it. But I don't want to be in a dirty bathroom. Like, I don't want... until some people come over here and clean it, I got to make sure it's clean until they come back, right? So I got to get in there and clean it. So instead of me just complaining, I just, let me go ahead and get this clean real quick. Put on some music, do something
go.
to make me a little happy so I can just get through it a little bit faster and be done. And then I'm like, I'm not even gonna lie. I'm like, oh my God, it feels so good. I did it.
And you went from cleaning the bathroom only to cleaning the whole damn house.
Right.
Because you got your music on, you grooving, now you dancing around the house.
So you start thinking like, oh my God, this feels so much better.
So you see how she just changed the whole situation. She took control of her environment.
Right.
She first went into the bathroom and saying, oh, bathroom is filthy, it's nasty, it's dirty. I don't want to clean it.
I have 2 boys still.
And she changed, dude.
That's why.
Changed the freaking environment, changed the atmosphere, changed that moment, and put her music on, blah, blah, blah. And next thing you know, it wasn't that big of a deal. You came
really
right out of
wasn't.
that bad boy.
Like,
you took control of the situation.
Exactly. So it's even like when you working out. I know a lot of y'all are working out right now and you're dreading to go to your workouts. Just make the best of it. Be like, listen, you know what I do? I'm not even gonna lie. When I get ready for my workout, I be like, I can't wait to get in that bed. That's all I think about.
That's it.
I'm about to get in that bed and it's gonna feel so good. I'm gonna take that shower. I'm gonna get in that bed. It's gonna be so good. Like I put something in my mind to help me look forward to.
You know what I do?
And then what?
When I'm working out?
What?
I don't think I ever told you this. I think
Oh
I
my
told
gosh.
Harmony and Lyric this. When I'm working out, especially when I don't feel like working out, I automatically imagine myself back on the football field,
Oh my
back
God.
on the baseball field, back on the track, back in my
Whatever works, babe.
Yeah, when I was in college and high school and all that, I take myself back to that moment, and I'm like, I be getting so serious and so deep with my imagination. As I'm like jogging or running or lifting weights, whatever, I'm like, in my head, I'm like, shoot, I'm at the Super Bowl. I'm at the World Series. I'm playing in these games. I'm like, let's go.
Yeah, I'm not doing that. Listen, let me just get through this workout because I'm not trying to compete. I used to tell my trainer that all the time. She would laugh. I said, listen, I'm not here to compete. I'm not trying to compete in anything. I'm just trying to just make sure I stay a little bit good, keep everything a little toned and nice together. That's it. So, just get through the workout. And sometimes you got to make it easier for yourself. Steve Harvey said, I think I said it too before, he was just like, sometimes you got to put things in ones. Like, I got one more day of this. Like, I'm going to give myself one more day. Even though you ain't quitting your job in one day, but just say one more day.
I love it.
Sometimes you may say, I got one more week, or it's one more year before I retire, or one more this. Whatever it is, it's one more. And just keep saying, I got 2 more seconds, I got 10 more seconds, I got, just so you can start getting through it. It's forcing yourself to see an end, but you pushed yourself through it.
Okay.
You make it simplified to make it easier for yourself.
Absolutely. I got one more thing I want to say about this depression situation. This is going to be another tough thing to hear. If you're surrounded around people or individuals that make you feel depressed, sad, angry,
that energy is everything.
the energy is just horrible. And every time this person comes around, every time you're in a conversation with this person, it's just,
It's draining.
Even if it's your own family, your spouse.
Yes, my husband had to teach me this.
Your kids, it doesn't matter. Man, you gotta distance yourself from that.
Seriously.
And that's a tough decision you may have to make sometimes, especially if it's a spouse or something.
Right.
So if it's your mom or it's your dad or whatever. And you just gotta stand up and say, listen, I choose not to be this way. And I'm not gonna let you or anybody else keep me in this state of mind.
Like you're draining, your energy drainers. Like I've been around a few of those, and I'm like, listen, I can't be around you because every time you bringing all the energy down and you doing this fake smile and act like, and then you finding something wrong, then you over there looking sad. Then when you talk to everybody, ask you, you got something depressing to say, and it's like, okay, I'm done. I can't keep talking to you because now, in my personal opinion, everything that you're in, this situation that you're in right now is because you're choosing to be there.
Absolutely.
And all because you're afraid to take the next step to make sure you're happy. So that's on you. And that's the price you're paying, your happiness, because you choose to stay comfortable and not make the move.
Now, it's unpopular to be this way. It's very unpopular because now, you think you're all that. Or you just think you're better than everybody. Or you just think you're gonna be
I ain't
called
even gonna lie. One
all
of my
kind of
friends,
names. They're gonna call you everything. That's okay.
I
choose to be better.
No, wait. One of my friends, Claire, I have to say it, Claire Anderson, that girl right there, she is a prime example of, I'll never forget when she switched over her social media account. She unfollowed all these people, like everybody that we be following that you don't need to be following.
Mm-hmm.
But she just said, you know what? I don't want that type of energy around me. I don't want to focus on that. Like, don't get me wrong. She probably see it and laugh and crazy stuff here and there. But that's not something she's associating with herself and her everyday life.
Mm-hmm.
Her everyday life is really pertaining around positive stuff, positive energy. And Tiffany, too. Tiffany's the same way, too. You know, like, they just real positive. And, you know, that has helped me to realize in order for me to keep sane and not be all negative, I need to keep that same energy around me. I'm going to make sure I'm going to keep the same positive energy. I've found myself on my social media where I unfollow a lot of stuff now because I don't, this is too much.
Come on. Now you're preaching.
This is too much. I don't want to deal with that. And there's a lot of people that I don't talk to as much anymore.
Absolutely.
Because it's like, yeah, every time I talk to you, girl, it's always something. I don't have it. I don't have it to give.
So let's break it down like you was a 3-year-old. If you got, just say you in a circle and you have all these different objects, all right? This is you right here in the circle. And this is all your objects around you. So you got all this stuff going on in a circle. And you have to choose one of these options on what you want your life to be. So if you surround yourself around that negative person right there, oh, here's a positive person. That's cool. Okay, this person over here is a negative person. Oh, this is a positive situation. Oh, this is a negative job or whatever it is. Then you close your eyes and they spin you around and you pick the closest thing to you. You don't know if you're going to have something positive or something negative. But if you put all positive things around you, it doesn't matter what you pick and choose, it's going to be something positive.
Right.
So
there you go, babe.
That's how you got to think. That's how you got to treat your life. It doesn't matter if you're going to fail, if you're going to fall, you're going to fall forward.
Right.
We don't fall backwards. If we're going to fall forward. You follow me? So surround yourself around positive people, positive energy, positive things. So when you do hit that depression, when you do hit that moment of, oh, I can't take it or whatever, you got all these positive options around you that's going to help bring you out. Starting with you.
So if you're an adult and you feel like you're in the depression stage right now, go get you some help. Start making a choice that I'm going to do better. And if you are raising your kids, understand that you should allow them to have their emotions, but don't allow them to stay there.
Absolutely.
That's what I think.
So,
my thoughts.
No, these are all of our thoughts. These are our opinions. So if you like them, great. If not, it's okay. We can agree to disagree and still be homies. All right? So if you have any questions, if you have anything you want to cuss her out or cuss me out,
okay.
Hey, shoot us a DM.
I cuss back, just FYI, so I don't.
Shoot us a message. We good, man. Hey, real quick before we go, we have to Atlanta. We coming your way February 11th for the We and Just Me Couples and Singles Day Party.
Yay!
It's going down.
Pre-Valentine's getaway for your Valentine's. So just in case
Absolutely.
you got to work or something, there's no excuse that you can't do something the weekend prior.
Come on, man. So if you haven't already registered and signed up in Atlanta or the surrounding areas, go to the Perfect Pair Podcast or anywhere on our social medias, click the link and register for the We and Just Me Couples and Singles Day Party. Is going down real big. We coming to Dallas. We probably go to Miami. We're going to be coming all around the country. We coming to a city near you. Stay tuned for that. On that note, go tell a friend to tell a friend. Continue to subscribe, download, all that good stuff. The 5-star reviews, we truly appreciate it.
Yes.
God bless you guys. We'll see you next episode of the Perfect Pair Podcast. Love you, sweetie pie.
Love you, honey. Bye.
Pretty much, ladies and gentlemen, billy goats and girls and bats and everything else.
Why do you do that? Just say ladies and gentlemen or just say hi.
We are here to tell you guys where to subscribe.
Why are you talking like that? You don't even talk like that. Talk
I
like
know,
yourself.
because I'm waiting for you. Okay.
Subscribe.
Okay. Subscribe. Please listen. You will not be sorry.
Did you just fart?
No. That's your breath.
Oh, comeback time.
Bye.